Grandpa's toolbox sat untouched for nearly 5 long years in the corner of the garage, collecting dust and memories. Rusty wrenches, bent up nails, receipts from '72, and 100 little pieces of a life nobody knew. One Saturday in early spring, I finally opened it, just looking for a socket set to fix a fancy bed. But underneath the bottom tray, folded tight and warm, was a hand-drawn map on yellow paper, weathered, stained, and torn. Across the top it simply said, "For whoever finds this first," and listed roads through Missouri in a dozen little towns, with circles drawn around old places I had never heard a name, and one short note beside the edge that only said, "Take the trip someday." So I loaded up my pickup and headed down the line, following that faded map, one county road at a time. The first stop was an old diner where a waitress smiled and said, "Your granddad used to stop right here every Thursday before dawn." And that map in Grandpa's toolbox wasn't leading me to gold, it was leading me through stories that had never been told. Every turn revealed a chapter, every mile revealed a man, and I realized how little we know about the lives behind our family names. One pin led to a schoolhouse where he fixed the furnace free, another to a farmhouse where he'd helped a widow keep her wheat. There was a church in Kansas where he built a handicap ramp, and a riverbank in Iowa where he rescued a boy from the current's grasp. No newspaper had ever written a single word about those days. No medals hung upon his wall, no headlines praised his name. But town after town I met folks whose lives he'd quietly changed, and each story painted someone bigger than I ever known. Yeah, that map in Grandpa's toolbox wasn't leading me to gold, it was leading me through kindness he never stopped to show. Every stop revealed a lesson, every road revealed the truth. The strongest people often leave their greatest work unseen. The final mark was on a hillside overlooking fields of corn, where Grandpa used to watch the sunset when he felt tired and worn. There I found a small tin box buried underneath the stone. Inside was one last letter, written in his careful hand. It said, "If you're reading this, remember, life ain't measured by what you own. It's measured by the people smiling because you helped them carry on. And if you ever feel forgotten or wonder what your life is worth, leave this world a little better than the day you found it first." Now that map hangs in my hallway where I see it every day, and whenever I get lost, it still shows me the way. There's a pawn shop on the edge of Tulsa by the railroad line, where old guitars and wedding rings wait to outrun harder times. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, killing time on my lunch break, I walked inside that dusty room just to get out of the rain. Behind a shelf of hunting boots and yellowed photographs hung a battered violin with a crack across its back. A handwritten tag beneath it read, "Not for sale today." And something about that little note made me stop and stay. The owner was an old man named Charlie Reed, who'd worked that counter 40 years, maybe more than he believed. I asked him why that violin never seemed to leave the wall. He smiled and poured us both some coffee, and he told me it all. Back in '87, when the old fields went bust, a young father brought it in because he had to feed his son. Said he'd buy it back someday when life got back on track. But the years kept moving forward, and he never made it back. So the violin in the pawn shop waits, like a promise frozen in time and space, for a hand that remembers every note it knew, for a dream that never quite made it through. Some things are worth more than money can say, more than a price tag fading away. And every scar in that old wood sings of the lives we carry in little things. A month later, Charlie called me out of the blue. Said, "You ain't gonna believe who's standing here wanting news." An old man with silver hair and hands worn thin with age had walked into the shop asking about that very case. He said, "My daddy used to play that fiddle every night till hard times took it from him. When I was just a child, he passed before he got it back, but he spoke about it still, and I promised if I found it, I'd bring it home for him." Now the violin from the pawn shop sings in a house where grandchildren gather and dream. Its melody carries across the room like a voice returning after years of silence too. Some things are worth more than money can say, more than a lifetime drifting away. And every scar in that old wood sings of the lives we carry in little things. At night the family gathered on the porch under Oklahoma stars, and for the first time in 40 years they heard their grandfather's song, not from a record or a story told, but from strings alive once more. And every note seem to open up a long-forgotten door. Yeah, the violin from the pawn shop came home after decades wandering alone, and the music filled the spaces time had left behind. Now when the evening settles down and the crickets start their choir, that old fiddle tells a story that survives every fire. 'Cause love don't disappear with years, and dreams don't always die. Sometimes they just wait patiently for the right hands to arrive. Out on the Carolina coast, where the Atlantic meets the sand, there stood a lonely lighthouse built by withered working hands. My daddy kept that beacon burning through every storm that came, while I dreamed of bigger cities and a life beyond the waves. Every night he climbed those stairs with a lantern and a key, while cargo ships crossed dark horizons far beyond the sea. It's say a light ain't measured by how far away it shines, it's measured by the lives that helps make it home alive. At 18 I left Hatteras with a suitcase and a plan, certain there was something greater waiting for me inland. I spent 20 years in boardrooms wearing polished shoes and ties, building things that look successful through everybody's eyes. Then one winter I got a call from a number I didn't know. The keeper's house was empty now, and Dad was gone. I flew back through a freezing rain to that familiar shore, and found his boots beside the door, like he just stepped out once more. I'm the lighthouse keeper's son, and it took me half a lifetime to learn where I came from. You can chase every distant skyline underneath the sun, but some lights keep guiding you long after they're gone. Through the fog and through the storms, through every road I wandered on, I'm the lighthouse keeper's son, and his light still leads me home. The town was planning to close the tower by the bay. Modern systems made it obsolete, or so the experts claimed. But as I walked those spiral stairs, I saw Dad's name carved deep, beside 100 others who had kept watch over the sea. So I stood before the county board and made a different case. Said this lighthouse isn't concrete, steel and paint. It's every life that found the harbor when the ocean turned black, and somehow the whole room rose up and brought the old tower back. I'm to learn where I came from. You can chase every distant skyline underneath the sun, but some lights keep guiding you long after they're gone. Through the fog and through the storms, through every road I wandered on, I'm the lighthouse keeper's son, and his light still leads me home. Now every year on Father's Day, I climb those stairs alone, watch the beam sweep across the waves, and think about all I've come to know. The strongest men don't always build the tallest things you'll see. Sometimes they simply leave behind a reason to believe. Yeah, I'm the lighthouse keeper's son, and the older that I get, the more I understand. A good life ain't about the miles of money that you've won. It's about the people who become your guiding stars. Through the fog and through the storms, their lessons carry on. I'm the lighthouse keeper's son, and his light still leads me home. Yes, his light still leads me home. The morning fog was hanging low on the Blue Ridge line. An old red barn stood crooked where we spent our younger time. I rode through town on Highway 221, past the diner by the courthouse where my story had begun. Mama's porch light faded in my rear view years ago, chasing bigger dreams through cities that never felt like home. I traded mountain sunsets for a skyline made of steel, but every mile I wandered left a wound that wouldn't heal. I worked the night shift winters in the cold Tennessee rain, carried more regrets than dollars, riding freight trains through the pain. Then a letter from my brother showed up worn and stained with age. Said, Dad still leaves your fishing pole beside the river every day. I stopped beside an overlook as daylight slipped away, watched the mountains turn to shadows, and I heard my conscience say, some roads are meant for leaving, some are meant to bring you back. And I finally turned the wheel toward the life I used to have. I'm coming back to the Blue Ridge Hills, to the church bells ringing and the whippoorwills, to the front porch stories and the river bend, where the hard times broke me to the Blue Ridge Hills. Dad was standing by the mailbox when I pulled into the drive. A little older, a little slower, but the fire was still alive. He didn't say much when he hugged me in the fading evening light. Some things don't need explaining when you've been gone half your life. Mama said an extra plate and laughed the way she used to do. The radio was playing old songs drifting through the room. And for the first time in forever, I felt the weight release, like the mountains wrapped around me and handed back my peace. I'm coming back to the Blue Ridge Hills, to the church bells ringing and the whippoorwills, to the front porch stories and the river bend, where the hard times broke me and the healing began. Every wrong turn led me where I needed to go, through the storm, through the heartache, through the winding roads. Now the mountains call my name like they always will. I'm coming back, I'm coming back to the Blue Ridge Hills. You can spend your whole life running from the boy you used to be, but the roots beneath your footsteps grow deeper than you see. And when the world gets heavy and the highway loses light, home is more than a place, it's the reason you survive. I'm finally back in the Blue Ridge Hills, where the sunrise paints the valleys and the time stands still, with my family beside me and the river rolling slow. There's a kind of peace you'll never find out on your own. Every long road brought me to this front porch view, to the memories I left and the dreams that came true. Now these mountains hold my heart like they always will. I'm finally home, I'm finally home in the Blue Ridge Hills.
Windmill on Miller Road still turns above the field, just like it did back in '98, when life felt strong and real. Dad would wake before the sunrise, coffee in his hand, and I'd ride shotgun in that tractor across the Kansas land. We talked about the weather and the price of grain that year. He'd never spoken big words, but somehow everything was clear. Said, son, a man ain't measured by the money that he makes, it's the promises he keeps and the burdens that he takes. I was 19 when I left that town, chasing city lights. Thought the Great Plains were too small for the dreams inside my mind. Built a business in Missouri, bought a house and wore a tie. But success can feel like failure when your roots are running dry. Then one cold November morning, my sister called in tears, said, "You better come on home now, Dad's been fighting hard for years." I stared out at that office glass and watched the traffic flow. And for the first time in forever, I knew exactly where to go. So I drove through the midnight rain, past every mile of pride and pain, back to the fields where I learned my name, where the wind still sings across the plains. That old windmill keeps turning slow, like the hands of time I used to know. And every lesson that my father gave still stands like steel above the waves. The hospital room was quiet when I walked through the door. He looked smaller than I'd ever seen, but his eyes were strong once more. He smiled and said, "You made it, son," then pointed through the glass toward the winter fields outside, where the snow was falling fast. We didn't talk about regrets or all the years gone by, just watched the clouds move over Kansas. Beneath the fading sky, he squeezed my hand and whispered low, "The farm will need your care." And in that simple moment, I knew my future waited there. So I drove through the midnight rain, past every mile of pride and pain, back to the fields where I learned my name, where the wind still sings across the plains. That old windmill keeps turning slow, like the hands of time I used to know. And every lesson that my father gave still stands like steel above the waves. Spring came early that next year, the wheat rose tall and green. Sometimes I still hear his voice carried on the prairie breeze. And when the sunset paints the sky in shades of gold and red, I tip my hat toward Miller Road and thank the man who led. Now I walk those fields at dawn, though the years keep moving on. The windmill turns above the land, like my father's weathered hands. Every season comes and goes, every child eventually knows the richest things we'll ever own are the people who call us home. That old windmill keeps turning slow, and every time I see it blow, I know the roots I almost lost were worth far more than what they cost. The scoreboard lights were flickering above the 50-yard line. October wind rolled through the stands on a cold Nebraska night. I sat alone on the top row where I used to hear them cheer. Now the bleachers felt a little bigger with every passing year. There was a time I wore that jersey with my number on the back, Thought Friday nights would last forever underneath those stadium lamps. But life moves faster than a fastball and stronger than your plans. One day you're chasing glory, next day you're shaking working hands. Now I punch the clock at sunrise at the grain mill by the tracks. Got 2 kids who wear my old cleats and a mortgage on my back. The mirror shows a little gray where the dark used to be, and the dreams I thought I'd lost are staring from the stands at me. My oldest boy ran onto the field wearing number 23. Same nervous smile I used to hide before the referee's whistle blew for me. And suddenly I understood what all those years were for. Some victories arrive much later than the ones you keep in score. Give me one more season of sunsets and small town lights, one more harvest moon hanging over Friday night, one more chance to stand beside the people I call mine. 'Cause the best things in this life don't last forever, they just borrow time. One more season of laughter around the kitchen table, one more season of faith when life gets unstable. Every year keeps teaching me what matters most to hold. You don't count your life in trophies, you count it in the souls. The game was tied in the 4th quarter, with 2 minutes left to play. My boy threw a pass downfield, and the whole town lost its mind that day. The crowd erupted like thunder rolling across the plains. But what hit me harder was the pride running through my veins. Afterward we drove home slowly beneath the starry sky. He talked about the winning play while I just smiled and drove, because someday he'll leave this town and chase a dream beyond these roads. And when he does, I hope he learns the thing I finally know. Give me one more season of sunsets and small town lights, one more harvest moon hanging over Friday night, one more chance to stand beside the people I call mine. 'Cause the best things in this life don't last forever, they just borrow time. One more season of laughter around the kitchen table, one more season of faith when life gets unstable. Every year keeps teaching me what matters most to hold. You don't count your life in trophies, you count it in the souls. The wheat turns gold and falls away, winter comes and spring returns again. The years keep rolling like a train, but every season leaves a gift behind. And when the final whistle blows, I won't remember every score, I'll remember who was standing there when I walk through every door. So give me one more season of ordinary days, one more sunrise shining through the window's dusty haze, one more Sunday church bell echoing through the air, one more chance to tell my family just how much I care, one more season of memories still waiting to be made, one more season watching children slowly find their way. And when the good Lord calls me home beyond these fields of gold,
I'll thank him for the seasons more than anything I own.
I saw her standing by the gas station out on Highway 84. The summer storm was rolling in, thunder shaking the store. She held a cardboard coffee cup, hair dancing in the wind, and something in that moment made the whole world slow again. I offered her a ride to town before the clouds broke loose. She laughed and said, only if you're playing something good with roots. An old country song came through, the speakers crackling low, and somewhere between two verses I forgot where I was going. We spent that Friday driving roads that barely had a name, crossing little county bridges while the sky poured down like rain. She told me about Georgia and the dreams she'd left behind. I told her how I'd built these walls, one heartbreak at a time. The windshield wipers kept the beat as evening settled in, and every mile beside her felt like the place I'd never been. Not because the road was new, but because she made it shine like sunlight breaking through a storm I'd carried for a long time. Now every time the rain comes down, I hear her laughing through this town, like a melody drifting from an old FM, and I fall in love all over again. She turned gray skies into gold somehow, made forever feel like right now. Every drop that hits this roof tonight still whispers her name in the rain outside. 3 years later by the river where the willow shadows sway, I got down on one knee at sunset as the daylight slipped away. She cried before I asked the question, said yes before I spoke, and the river carried echoes through the Tennessee smoke. Now there's a photograph beside our bed from that summer stormy day, two young hearts beneath the station sign while the clouds rolled away. Sometimes life arrives so quietly you almost miss the sign. Then one unexpected moment changes everything inside. Now every time the rain comes down, I hear her laughing through this town, like a melody drifting from an old FM, and I fall in love all over again.
I'll still thank those storm clouds rolling in for leading me right there. So let the rain keep falling down across these fields outside our town. Every drop's a memory I can't replace of the day heaven put her in my way. She turned a passing storm into a lifetime, turned a lonely road into a finish line. And every night when the thunder rolls again, I still hear her name in the rain. Yes, every night when the thunder rolls again, I still hear her name in the rain.
At Murphy's Cafe off Route 66, there's a chair by the window, table 6. Every morning at 7, the coffee gets poured, even though nobody walks through that door. Old Joe runs the place like he always has, wipes down the counter, checks the gas, and right beside the jukebox glowing blue sits a plate nobody ever moves. Back in 2005, a young Marine named Ben, he used to stop by every Friday with his friends. He'd order chicken fried steak and peach pie too, leave $1 in the jar before he flew. Then one spring he shipped overseas, promised his mama he'd be home by Christmas Eve. But fate had different plans that year, and the whole town learned the meaning of fear. So the empty chair at table 6 still waits where he used to sit, beside the window facing west toward the sunset he loved best. And every soul who walks inside knows the reason why some heroes leave this world too soon, but they never really say goodbye. Years rolled by like freight trains in the night. Kids grew up and the town changed with time. The old gas station closed, the hardware store moved on, but that chair stayed right where it belonged. Then one July afternoon, a little boy asked why his grandpa always tipped his hat when he walked by. The old man smiled and pulled up a seat and told a story every child should keep, about the empty chair at table 6, still waiting where he used to sit, beside the window facing west toward the sunset he loved best. And every soul who
walks inside knows the reason why some heroes leave this world too soon, but they never really say goodbye. No statue stands in that small town square, no headlines carry his name anymore, but sometimes the strongest monuments are the ones behind ordinary doors. A cup of coffee, a faded photo, a place nobody dares replace, because memory lives a little longer when love is given space. And the empty chair at table 6 still waits where he used to sit, while the morning sun spills through the glass, and another year quietly passes. New faces come, old faces go. That's how life unfolds, but every heart that learns his story carries a piece of him forward. Yeah, the empty chair at table 6 ain't empty after all.
There's a wooden bench at mile 42 along an old Wyoming trail with a mountain view. It ain't on any map you'll find in a tourist stand, just a place beside the pines where the wildflowers still dance. I first saw it one September after 14 hours on the road, hauling cattle through the bighorns with a heavy load. The sun was dropping low, painting gold across the sky, and carved into the back were words that caught my eye. If you're tired, sit a while. A year went by before I passed that way again. This time after losing my brother, my closest friend. The world felt colder than the snow, building on the peaks, and grief had stolen every answer I was trying to seek. So I pulled over by that bench as evening settled in, found a notebook and a weatherproof box tucked underneath it then, filled with notes from strangers passing through the years, written in faded ink, stained by rain and tears. At the bench at mile 42, people leave pieces of the truth, a prayer, a memory, a goodbye, a reason to keep moving through the night. Some roads are lonely, that's for sure. Some wounds take longer to endure, but hope keeps showing up somehow. At the bench at mile 42. One note came from a trucker who beat cancer in the spring. Another from a young girl learning what forgiveness means. A widow wrote about her husband and the stars he loved to see, and every page somehow felt like it was speaking straight to me. I sat there till the moon rose high above the mountain line, reading
didn't feel alone that night. At the bench at mile 42, people leave pieces of the truth, a prayer, a memory, a goodbye, a reason to keep moving through the night. Some roads are lonely, that's for sure. Some wounds take longer to endure, but hope keeps showing up somehow. At the bench at mile 42, nobody knows who built it there, or who first placed that notebook down. But sometimes the best things in this world appear without a sound. Not every hero wears a badge, not every gift has a name. Sometimes healing starts with strangers who've walked through the same pain. Now every fall I stop again and add another page with a pen, watching the sunset fade beyond the blue. And when life gets heavy, when the answers disappear, I remember all those voices that I found out there, and how a simple wooden bench helped carry people through. Yeah, hope still waits beside the pines at the bench at mile 42.
On a gravel road in northern Montana, where the winters cut like glass, there stood a one-room general store that somehow still managed to last. The sign was faded, the floorboards grown, the coffee pot stayed warm, and folks stopped in for more than feed whenever there was a storm. Oh, Miss Evelyn ran the place since 1979. She knew every kid, every ranch, every hard and troubled time. But what folks talked about the most was a rusty iron key hanging from a nail above the door for everybody to see. Nobody locked their houses much back when the town was young, but times changed like the weather, and trust grew harder to come by. Still that key stayed hanging there through every passing year, and if you asked Miss Evelyn why, she'd smile and say it's here. For the day somebody needs it more than pride will let them say, for the day a soul gets stranded and can't find another way. And she'd pour another coffee and go back to her routine, leaving folks to wonder for what she really meant. That's the key above the door for the lost and the worn, for the hearts carrying burdens they weren't meant to carry along. When the road gets dark and lonely, when hope gets hard to find, there's still a place in this world where somebody leaves a light behind. Then came the blizzard of '08, worst in a
everybody knew. White walls of snow, swallowed fences, trucks, and every familiar view. A ranch hand named Miguel got caught 30 miles from town. His engine quit, his radio died, and the temperature kept dropping down. By pure luck he found the store near midnight in the storm. The windows dark, the streets deserted, not another soul around. But there beside the entrance, hanging where it always had been, was that rusty iron key and a note tucked underneath. It said, if you're reading this tonight, come inside and get warm. There's soup in the freezer, blankets in the back room. Pay it forward when you can. That's the key above the door, for the lost and the worn, for the hearts carrying burdens they weren't meant to carry alone. When the road gets dark and lonely, when hope gets hard to find, there's still a place in this world where somebody leaves a light behind. The next spring folks gathered round and asked Miss Evelyn why. She said, my daddy taught me something before the day he died. He said, kindness ain't kindness if it waits for recognition. The best things people do are usually done unseen. Now the key above the door still hangs where it hung before, and travelers tell stories about what that little town stands for. Not the mountains or the cattle, not the rivers running wide, but the simple faith that somebody will help you through the night. Yeah, the key above the door still leaves a light behind.
The auction sign went up in June beside the county road, right where my granddad carved his name in a cedar fence post. 80 years of Oklahoma dirt, 3 generations deep, was gonna leave our family when that auctioneer would speak. The drought had hit us hard that year, then harder still the next. Bank notices stacked on the table like a pile of unpaid debts. I watched my father stare across those fields of dying grain, like a captain watching helpless while his ship sank in the rain. By auction day the whole town came, pickups lined the lane, neighbors leaning on the fences underneath the sky of gray. The tractor stood like soldiers waiting for a final call, and every tool inside that barn held memories on its walls. The auctioneer climbed on the trailer, cleared his throat and smiled, started reading numbers fast while Mama held back tears. Then from the crowd old men stepped up, folks I'd known my whole life through, and one by one they started doing something nobody expected them to do. When the auction bell rang loud that day, the town stood up instead of walking away. They bought
handed every piece right back to us. And I learned right there beneath those clouds, a man ain't rich because he's proud. He's rich because when times get rough, there's a town behind him strong enough. Mrs. Parker bought the combine that her husband used to run. The sheriff bought the cattle gates, the preacher bought a gun. Not for keeping, just for saving what we thought was gone for good. Every bid became a promise written where hope once stood. Then old Hank Wilson raised his hand for the final piece of land. Silence fell across the crowd as he made his stand. He bought the acreage outright, then turned toward my dad and said, "This farm belongs to your family. That's all that needs be said." When the auction bell rang loud that day, the town stood up instead of walking away. They bought the plows, they bought the trucks, then handed every piece right back to us. And I learned right there beneath those clouds, a man ain't rich because he's proud. He's rich because when times get rough, there's a town behind him strong enough. The rain arrived 3 days later, rolling in across the plains. Like heaven heard the voices of folks carrying each other's pain. Some things grow better than wheat fields, some things run deeper than roots. And when the world starts breaking, there's people that pull you through. Now every year when harvest comes and combines roll beneath the sun, I hear that auction bell again, echoing across the wind. Not as a sound of losing ground, but proof that love still gathers round. And if this farm outlives my days, I'll thank that town in 1,000 ways. Yeah, the auction bell still rings somehow in every golden harvest now.
On Cedar Street in Arkansas stood a little yellow house where Miss Ruth sat every evening when the sun was going down. She'd stitch this beside the front porch swing with a basket at her feet, adding patches to a quilt nobody had ever seen complete. Some came from a soldier's jacket, some from a baby dress, some from church choir robes worn on Sundays at their best. Every scrap had someone's story, some between the seams, like a map of all the lives that built that little community. For 30 years folks dropped off pieces of their past, a work shirt from the sawmill, a ribbon from a graduation cap. But nobody really knew what Ruth intended it to be, but she'd smile and say, "You'll understand eventually." Then one April night a fire swept through downtown fast. The feed store, bank and barber shop
and disappeared in ash. The town hall burned to the foundation, records lost in smoke, and with them went a century of stories people hoped they'd always hold. That's when she brought out the quilt on Cedar Street, spread it wide for everyone to see. Every patch of name, every thread of memory, every color telling where we've been. When the photographs were gone, when the old records disappeared, that quilt became the history we thought we'd lost that year. The mayor stood there speechless as she laid it on the floor. More than 2,000 pieces stitched from door to door. Children found their grandparents, old friends found younger days, entire generations hidden in the fabric she'd saved. There was a square from the first schoolhouse, built in 1932, a piece from a wedding tablecloth everybody knew. And when folks saw their stories there, something changed inside. They realized the town ain't buildings, it's the people tied together through time. That's what lived inside the quilt on Cedar Street. Every laugh and every defeat, every harvest, every storm, every dream, woven into something bigger than a single memory. When the photographs were gone, when the old records disappeared, that quilt became the history we thought we lost that year. Miss Ruth passed away that winter at 94 years old. But before she left, she wrote a note, folded careful in the quilt's old folds. It said, the strongest threads are people, the cloth is only cloth. Take care of one another, and you'll never truly be lost. Now the quilt hangs in a museum built where the old town hall once stood, and school kids stop and stare a while, like every generation should. They see more than scraps of fabric, more than colors stitched with care. They see the heart of a small town story still hanging there. Yeah, the quilt on Cedar Street still holds us all together.
Was a man in Amarillo everybody knew by sight, riding an old green bicycle from morning until night. No fancy truck, no business sign, no ads in any paper, just a paint-stained denim jacket and a pocket full of brushes. He'd stop at farms and trailer parks, little houses off the road, painting names on rusty mailboxes where the prairie grasses grow. $10 if you had it, free if times were running tight, and somehow every mailbox looked brand new in the evening light. Nobody knew much about him except his name was Ray.
He never talked about the past or where he'd come from anyway. But every Sunday after church, he'd sit beneath the cottonwoods, sketching barns and windmills like nobody else could. Then one spring a tornado tore through Carson County hard, ripped roofs off homes and scattered lives across 100 yards. Families lost photographs, letters, keepsakes from the years, the kind of things that can't be fixed with lumber, nails, and tears. That's when the man who painted mailboxes picked up more than paint and steel. He started painting memories for folks trying to heal. Oh, wedding days and harvest moons, Grandpa standing by the fields, and every brushstroke seemed to say, some things survive if they're remembered still. For months he worked inside the church from sunrise until dark, turning faded snapshots into pieces of the heart. One by one the townsfolk came to see what he could do, and every painting brought back pieces of the lives they once knew. Then a reporter from Dallas came asking for his name, said the whole state's talking about these beautiful works he'd made. Ray just smiled and shook his head, said the story ain't about me, it's about helping people hold on to what they thought they'd never see. Yeah, the man who painted mailboxes picked up more than paint and steel. He started painting memories for folks trying to heal. Oh, wedding days and harvest moons, grandmas dancing in the fields, and every brushstroke seemed to say, some things survive if they're remembered still. When autumn came, he disappeared just as quietly as he'd arrived. Left no address, no forwarding trail, just colors that were left behind. But in the church hall hangs a sign, written by a child one day. Thank you for bringing back our stories, and nobody ever took it away. Now every mailbox down those roads still shines beneath the Texas sky. But what folks talk about these days ain't the names he painted on the side. It's how one stranger showed a town that healing takes more than time. And sometimes the richest people in the world leave everything behind. Yeah, sometimes the richest people in the world leave everything behind.